3.34. 1. A.
Rang,
B.
rung,
2. A.
App,
B.
up,
3. A.
Hang up,
B.
hung up,
4. A.
cat,
B.
cut,
5. A.
Ran out.
B.
Run out.
6. A.
match,
B.
much,
7. A.
track,
B.
truck.
3.35. 1.
she's rung twice,
2.
What's up?
3.
they hung up,
4.
What a horrible cat!
5.
the printer's run out of paper,
6.
She's no match for him.
7.
there was a truck in the middle of the road.
Without a mobile phone, you basically don't exist. I arranged to meet a friend after work the other day. I live in North London, and Bill works in Battersea and has just had a child, so I do the decent thing. We arranged to meet at 6:30 p.m. in an upmarket pub near his work for food and drink. I go to the gym in the afternoons sometimes. The gym's round the corner from my house, so I change before and after at home. Anyhow, on this occasion, after donning my PE kit, I promptly locked myself out of the house. No wallet, no keys, obviously, and no phone. I consider going to my girlfriend's work, but I'm not too sure where it is. This is not because I am a distant or disinterested partner, or at least not in this instance. She's only just started a new job, so I'm not yet certain of her office address. Also, I don't want to embarrass her by meeting her new colleagues in my disgusting gym outfit. With no access to my phone, or Bill's phone number, there's little for me to do other than to make my way to Battersea. Without an Oyster card or money, I walk. It takes about an hour and 3/4, and I enjoy it very much, this time spent away from communication. With a break from Twitter, from email, from calls, not stopping to check messages at traffic lights. I have freedom to think, to dream. I remember with delight that I bought Bill dinner last time we met, and with my long, brisk walk as justification, much more honest and hearty than the gym, my thoughts turned to some sort of substantial pie, with 3 pints of bitter, or perhaps even 4, and borrowed money for transport home. I get there early. The pub is really fancy, more of a restaurant in fact, albeit one selling posh pies. I wait outside, people watching. Glamorous girls walk past, eyes lowered. One clutches her handbag tighter. After a bit, I pretend that I'm jogging and do some stretching exercises across the street. A policeman stops and looks closely at me. My friend, of course, does not show up. Needless to say, I wait a long, long time, because without Bill, I know that I'm walking the whole way back. After 2 hours, the situation eventually becomes untenable, and I head home, my spirit broken. I am ravenously hungry. I arrive home just about 6 hours after I left. Luckily, my girlfriend has returned from her job at, that place. Whatever. I have 24 missed calls from Bill, some emails and voicemails, increasingly frustrated and pointed in tone. In between wolfing the contents of the fridge, I phone him. He had emailed me in the afternoon, it transpired, to say, "I'll be at my work. Text me when you get down this way and I'll come down." Not receiving any such communication, he assumed I was late or in transit. Eventually, he went down to the pub to check, but by then I had gone. It was for him beyond the realms of plausibility that I hadn't received any of the emails, texts, or calls. Now that we're all connected constantly, addicted to updating our status and tweeting what we're up to, we can hardly conceive of someone not being contactable for even a few hours. Something as simple as, "I will see you in the pub at 6:30, has become not a firm arrangement, but a basis for negotiation. If you're not on your phone, you can't be contacted. To other people, you might as well not exist. And the worst of it, those pies looked really nice."
3.36. 1,
A lot of young people are addicted to social networking.
2,
Many 30-year-olds are still dependent on their parents.
3,
People are totally fed up with the number of reality shows on TV.
4,
Older people aren't as open to new ideas as younger people are.
5,
People are sick of being bombarded with depressing news.
6,
A lot of people are hooked on American TV series.
7,
As a nation, we are very proud of our sporting achievements.
8,
Couples are not as keen on getting married as they used to be.
9,
A lot of people are obsessed with celebrities and their lifestyles.
10,
People are usually very kind and helpful to foreign tourists.
3.37. 1,
Dopamine is a chemical in the brain which makes you feel good.
2,
To quit a substance or a behavior means to stop taking it or doing it.
3,
Withdrawal symptoms are the unpleasant effects of giving up something you're addicted to.
4,
To wean somebody off something means to slowly help somebody to stop taking or doing something. For example, when a baby is a few months old, he or she is slowly weaned off a diet of just milk and starts eating normal food.
5,
A life-threatening condition is a medical condition which could cause death.
6,
To go cold turkey means to stop an addictive behavior very abruptly. For example, when a heavy smoker decides to just stop smoking and never has another cigarette.
7,
Nicotine patches are a kind of plaster which people use to try to stop smoking. They're stuck on the skin and release nicotine into the body.
8,
To have counseling means to get professional advice about a problem. For example, marriage guidance counseling.
9,
To have a relapse means to become ill again after having previously improved.
3.38.
Can you begin by explaining exactly what an addiction is?
I think we often think of addiction as being something like an illegal drug, but the truth is you can be addicted to a lot of things. Wine, fatty, sugary foods. It could be drugs, but it could be a whole host of other things. What's happening in your brain's pleasure centers is that whenever you do this thing, it rewards you. You get a flood of dopamine in your brain's pleasure centers. And over time, you start having more and more dopamine. Well, the brain responds to that in an interesting way. All this dopamine in your brain, just like with the radio when it's turned up too loud, your brain turns down the volume. So if you've been drinking too much, eating too much, your brain actually turns down the volume, so you have to drink even more or eat even more just to get back to your normal state.
So what does that mean for someone who's addicted to something and wants to give it up?
Well, Have you ever noticed how people, when they quit a substance or a behavior, they're angry, they're depressed, they're unhappy? The reason is because their brains rely on the drug to make them not only feel good, but to stop them from feeling bad. So this is all a matter of reward centers in the brain. And when you become addicted to a behavior, you're just trying to get that pleasurable feeling, to not feel so bad anymore. And that's why it's so difficult to give up. Because once you're addicted, it's so hard to stop.
If someone wants to give up an addiction, would you recommend that they went cold turkey?
Well, it depends on what they're addicted to, and it also depends on the person. If you're a true alcoholic, to the point where when you stop taking in alcohol, you develop severe withdrawal symptoms like seizures or something called delirium tremens, that is a life-threatening condition. So in the hospital, we will give people medicines to almost mimic alcohol in the body and slowly wean them off it. They couldn't go cold turkey without it being a serious risk. But food addiction, if you're addicted to fatty and sugary foods, you can't stop eating food, but you can quit that kind of food cold turkey. There's not going to be any problem in your body from doing that. And for some people, stopping smoking cold turkey is the best way to do it. But other people may be dependent on nicotine patches or gum for a while, or some other substitute.
I see. What other kind of treatment do addicts need?
The best treatment options are multi-pronged. So you may need counseling and sometimes you may need medication. And it's also vital if you can get support from your family, because these addictive personalities, they tend to push the limits, and they need all the help they can get not to have a relapse and fall back into their bad habits.
Dr. Stork, thank you very much.
How I stay calm. The head teacher.
Education transformed my life. I wasn't academic, I was a plodder, but I had the most fantastic teachers. In a way, that's where the stress and worry of this job comes from, the knowledge that a school can make a huge difference to the lives of young people. I feel a personal responsibility if I see something going wrong. Children are here for only a fixed period. Any time that is lost, they'll never get back. There are 1,100 people in the building whose jobs are all essential to the running of the school, and I need to make sure that every single one of them is doing what they need to be doing. Our cleaners are as valuable as our teaching staff. Nothing can prepare you for being responsible for it all. However, most stressful situations that arise, be it with antisocial behaviour or angry parents turning up, we have systems to deal with them. When I arrived in 2012, I introduced a policy for both teachers and students of always remaining calm and non-confrontational. The minute you shout, people don't listen to you. They just focus on the noise you're creating rather than what you're saying. The other thing that helps me remain calm is being highly visible, so that everyone, parents and those in school, can talk to me as soon as something is niggling them. It's when things fester that they create most stress. So I'm at the school gate at the start and end of every day. I'm an organised person. I won't leave my office without getting everything ready for the next morning. One rule I try to stick to is that I do my work at work. I'll stay late to get it finished, but I won't take it home. And I run. I'm training for the London Marathon at the moment, so I run 8 miles 3 nights a week. If there's something I need to deal with, I can usually find a solution on my run, and by the time I get home, I'm relaxed.
The football coach.
When you're watching your team out on the pitch, your heart might be racing, yet you've got to appear in control. You have to remain calm to make good decisions. As coach, the whole responsibility for the club is on your shoulders. You've got the chairman and directors to think about, as well as the supporters. You have to deal with injuries, loss of form by key players, their mental state, and things happening in their lives that affect their performance. You have to accept that certain things are out of your control and know what those are. So I can't control those who officiate the game. I'm not in control of the opposition, and I'm not in control of what kind of football my players are going to produce. The main strategy I have for staying calm is that I'm careful about who I listen to and what I read. In the past, I have taken things personally. so I won't go on social media or message boards, nor will I read comments posted beneath online newspaper articles. You have to stay focused and believe in what you're doing, but you can't be too shut off either. There was a stage a couple of years ago when everything seemed to be going against me. I was bringing it all home. Last year, I made a decision that I would discuss only really massive things with my family and try to leave everything else at the front door. That can be hard when you come home after a heavy defeat, but it's the best way I can handle it.